Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Katherine Walters, and I'm the Joy Coach. And I am so delighted that you're here for this Stress Free You video series. Wow, I am so honored and so thrilled because I've been blessed to interview 22 or more speakers on this topic, and their main goal is to share with you their wisdom, their insights, their knowledge in practical ways so that you are able to transform the stress that you may have in your life in any area into more peace and joy. Now today we're blessed. This is going to be a fabulous conversation, I know, because this is Phyllis Light. And Phyllis is a nationally known intuitive healer and personal growth counselor. She's a PhD in psychology and has extensive specialized, and you'll hear this, training as a healer. At work in the healing field since in the 70s, Phyllis has helped clients make positive, lasting changes and improve their relationships. Hello, Phyllis. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, it's my delight. Okay, so Phyllis, you work in somewhat of an unusual field, which is like you do a lot of research on helping people create stress-free environments.
Yes.
So, why my environment is stressful? What's that look like? What is that? What do you mean by that?
Well, basically, let's go back 30 years when I almost died.
Okay,
so I almost died from the stress in the environment at the time. I was exhausted. I joke and say I was a puddle of a human being on the floor. And I didn't know what was going on, and I prayed and prayed and prayed and asked for help, and I wound up finding this man who's no longer around, actually, but he turned me on to what's going on with electromagnetic fields and frequencies on the planet. Now remember, this is 30 years ago, so we're not there at this time, we're far beyond, but so 30 years ago, he said to me, yes, you're so sensitive, you're channeling every frequency under the sun. He had a way to test me and show me that my body was just totally, all the opposite energies going on.
wow.
So what happened is I studied with him for a couple of years, and then afterwards I created my device. I created a device called the Rejuvenizer, which protects you from all the stuff that I had run into 30 years ago. So basically for me, at that time, I was feeling TV satellite frequencies. I was feeling radio, microwave tower, just even the telephone made me tired because there's a magnet in the telephone. So that was 30 years ago. So fast forward from 30 years ago, we have an unbelievable amount of frequencies and energies that are bombarding us constantly.
Wow.
And what happens is when they bombard us, they weaken our life force. They make us age faster. They make us feel tired. They make us feel stressed, irritable, irritable. They create immune system disorders. So these frequencies do all kinds of damage to the physical and what I call subtle bodies, the energy field around us. So when we talk about stress, what happens is our energy field is the blueprint for the physical body. You've all heard of aura, the energy field around us. We call it also the etheric body. It's the blueprint for the physical. So a good psychic can look at your etheric body and go, okay, so I see this thing over your shoulder. If you don't let go of your anger at your mother, you're going to create shoulder pain or whatever. I can do that actually. So you can look at the etheric body and see what's going to happen to the physical body, because the etheric body or the energy field takes the hit first, and then it manifests into the physical body.
Right.
Okay, so what happens is these frequencies, they hit our energy field, and then our energy field gets disrupted. It breaks up. Now let's go back to before 1975. In 1975, HBO and Cinemax started broadcasting from the skies.
Right.
So that was like a major onslaught of frequencies. But before then, we had like 3 TV stations, 3 radio stations, pretty much in most cities. So a frequency would hit us, it would hit our energy field, and then our energy field would kind of wobble, it would get disrupted, but then the frequency would go away because we only got hit by maybe 40 a day, something like that.
Oh, wow.
And our energy field would come back together because we are naturally self-repairing beings, our bodies. you cut your arm or say a little cut, and it will basically bleed, scab over, and heal itself. You
Right.
know, so we're self-repairing generally.
Sure.
So our energy field is the same. So the frequency would hit us, we'd kind of get damaged, the energy would go away, and then we would be self-repairing, and our field would be normal. Okay, so then when HBO and Cinemax started broadcasting, we got hit with more frequencies per day. And then fast forward to this time, to the end of 2016 is when we are. You have cell phones and texts and podcasts and Netflix and streaming this and download this. And I mean, they're like the air is saturated with frequencies.
Wow.
We actually get hit. You're sitting down. Yes, I see you're sitting down.
Yeah.
We actually get hit by about 300,000 frequencies per minute.
Oh my God.
It used to be
300,000 per minute. Well, we used to get 40.
40 per day. And then our parents' day, of course, you know, much less, but I'm talking about sort of my lifespan. So basically, when you get hit by 300,000 frequencies per minute, a frequency hits you, your energy field gets damaged, but it can't really repair itself because it's hitting you again and again and again. I can't even count up to 300,000 in 1 minute. You know, one,
Right.
2, 3 minutes. So the idea they keep hitting us, maybe in different places of the body, maybe we can repair to some degree, but basically it's like this onslaught of frequencies that the human being is not designed to withstand. Period, end of story. So where I was dead 30 years ago, almost dead, I was like the canary in the coal mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I may be more sensitive than most, but we're all human. We all have a body. We all have an energy field. We're all getting hit. So 30 years ago, I would sit in front of a computer, and after an hour or two, I'd get a screaming headache. Now I've written 3 books sitting in front of a computer. So my device protected me so that I could deal with the energy of the computer and not get a headache, not feel bad, you know, not feel drained and all that. So my device has been a real godsend. So that is one of the things that I do want to make sure people know about, because I'm not just here to scare people. I'm not saying, hey, beware of our world today. It's like, I have a solution. Now, you know, my deal is not sell my rejuvenizers, it's educate people.
Sure.
So in that education, you can make the best decision. Like, do you want to protect yourself? What are some things that you can do? I mean, I give lectures on, like, one of the things you can do is unplug your Wi-Fi. Well, most people don't do that. You know, it's like too hard, but your Wi-Fi is on all night and it's broadcasting frequencies, and it messes up your energy field. It actually lowers what I call the life energy level in your space. You talked about stressful spaces. When Wi-Fi is on, it's like constantly putting unnatural frequencies into the air, and it kind of like chops up the energy field, and it lowers the life force of the space by about 80 to 85%. So when I walk into space, you know, when I walk into spaces that don't have my devices in there, obviously my home, I have my devices, but when I walk into people's spaces, the energy's dead. The life force is so low because of all the frequencies that saturate the air.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. So people wake up in dead spaces. They get in their car, which is kind of dead because of the battery and the electromagnetics of the car. And then they go to work, and work is definitely dead with all the computers and frequencies and cell phones and
the lights and everything else.
But the thing is, we've gotten used to it. That's the challenge. See, many years ago, I heard someone give this analogy, and I love it. It's if you took a frog and put the frog in a hot frying pan, it would jump out right away. It's like, ow, that's hot. But if you took that same frog and put it in a cold frying pan and very slowly over time turned up the heat, you could fry it and they wouldn't notice the difference.
Right.
That's what's going on with us. It's like we're slowly being fried. You know, we started off many years ago with a few TV and radio stations, and then we had a home computer, and then fast forward we had the cell phones, and then the Wi-Fi, or Wi-Fi first, I think, then cell phones, and it's just more and more and more, and we've just gotten used to it. But I guess we're like, you know, sort of walking around just accepting how not alive we feel, and we don't know that we could feel better. We don't know that we could feel more alive.
Right. And so like our young people, they may not even know at all because they've never experienced this other energy. So it's like, what's happening with them?
Well, it's funny that you mention, every year for the past few years, I've done a show in San Francisco and an expo where I have a booth and I speak to people. And there was a little girl, she was 14, and she came up to me, and I have my devices out for display, and people can hold them and feel the energy if they can feel that. She picked up one of my devices and she goes, oh my God, I can feel all this stuff coming off me. she goes over to her boyfriend and says, here, feel this. And he's like, well, I don't know. I mean, because those people can't just like hold something and feel it right away. You know, I don't expect them to. But this little girl was like, oh my God, I can feel this. I feel so much better. It's like all this stuff is coming off me, which it does. What it does is it starts freeing the body and the energy field from all the electromagnetic fields and frequencies that you've picked up all your life. So it does for you, but she felt it right away.
Wow.
Now, this little girl, when I talked to her further, she told me that when she talks on a cell phone, she feels like it's killing her. So this little girl could be a poster child for what I'm speaking about here.
Sure.
She said she got headaches every day, like migraines. The doctor, her parents took her to doctors. They gave her pills. They gave her all this stuff. Nothing helped. And it wasn't until she held my device that she goes, oh my God, I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to come back, feel normal again. So that's what's happening to kids. They're getting hurt. Now, this girl was very sensitive, but the truth is everyone feels it. It's just they're not necessarily aware of it. And some people just feel depressed. They don't know why, and you think something's wrong with you. I mean, there are so many people out there who are just depressed as all get out, and they just think something's wrong with them.
Right.
I have another story. Same show in San Francisco. I was giving my speech. It was the second day of the show. And a lady, when I'm done, the lady stands up in the back of the room. She raises her hand. She goes, I have something I want to share. I said, sure, go ahead. And she said, you don't know me, but I was diagnosed as clinically depressed 4 years ago. And she said, I've been to every therapist and I've tried every drug and I've been to every healer, whatever. And it's like nothing changed the depression. She said, yesterday I bought one of your devices, yesterday morning, wore it all day, slept with it. You can do that or you don't have to. There's ways to not to. But she said, I wore it all day, slept with it, woke up this morning. It was the first time in 4 years that the depression had lifted.
Wow.
Huge. That's huge.
That is huge. That is huge. And I'm just thinking, I'm thinking it like, I know I'm sensitive to all this stuff too. And the only place I feel at this moment, since I don't have your rejuvenizer at yet, but I'm definitely, definitely planning on it, is when I go out in nature. Because then when we're surrounded by nature, then when like you hear, you can actually almost feel the like a cell tower or something if it happens to be, on some mountain where you're nearby. But before that, you're right. We're so completely like numb to it. It's like we don't even realize that we're basically like, I guess kind of want to say like either sleepwalking or half alive or however you want to describe it.
It's like that. Absolutely. One of the things that the Rejuvenizer does is it helps you be more alive and feel happier and not age as fast. But it's like there's not two of you where you go down the track of life. One's protected and the other one's not. And you're looking at each other and you're going, gee, you're looking pretty bad over there. And this one's going, hey, you're looking pretty good. How are you doing that? We don't have two of us. So we can only just be ourselves. So what happens is we adjust, like the frog in the frying pan. We just get used to it. And I tell you what, I had to remodel my bathroom because my 27-year-old tub and shower all broke. So I had to fix it up. And I went looking for tiles and, different rugs and everything. Everything is beige and gray, swear to God. And I love color. I have rose-colored things and different colors. Everything is beige and gray. So my new theory is like, beige, gray, that's fine. It's like we're getting numb. So
right.
All the things, white, black, beige, and gray. I mean, it's like we're losing our life, our vibrancy,
Right.
That's my theory anyway. When I saw the beige and gray, I'm like, so I have to just choose which shade of beige or gray I like. It's like, no.
But it is like that because when we're in those blah colors,
Right.
Then I know for energetically with my space here, which I know people can't really see it, but like it was white for years. And I said to my, can we paint this yellow? So most of the room is yellow, but then it's gold and two like walls, like I can look at a gold wall.
There's a life.
Yeah, and there's energy there, and it helps me, like it's like bringing the sunshine in, even though I don't have a window in front of me. I feel like I'm warmed by the sunlight. So this is kind of where what you're saying is what I'm hearing you say is that even our colors with our clothing and our spaces, that another way to sort of pick us up, even if we don't choose to get your rejuvenizers, bring color back into our
Sure,
lives.
absolutely. There's a whole thing of color therapy. I used to be into that many years ago, where you would sit under colored lights.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah.
That would have certain effects on the body, you know. So color is good.
Color is good. Okay, well, come back to the, if
So
you'll come
color
back.
is good. So if we were to summarize, color is good. Get more color. And the other one is do your best not to carry your cell phone glued to your body all the time.
Yeah.
Because the cell phone, it has the frequencies from the cell phone, you know, the EMFs. It also has a battery in it, and anything that's electric, electronic, or battery powered creates an unnatural electromagnetic field. So when you have a battery from the cell phone, that also is damaging your own personal energy field. So you have two things of damage. Tell you another story. I met a lady in her 80s. She said her husband had recently died, and he had some place in his colon that ruptured, and the doctors couldn't find anything wrong. And I said to her, did he used to carry a cell phone? And she said, you know, he did, and he carried it right in that place where in his pocket, his jacket pocket, where the problem happened. So, you know, that's a very good example of you carry an electronic device on your body for an extended period of time, you're going to have a problem. It's just, that's how it works. I met another guy who said his leg started hurting, and he thought he maybe had restless leg. That's the new restless leg thing. And he was smart. He said, I wonder if it has anything to do with my cell phone. And he took his cell phone out and didn't keep it near him for 2 weeks, and the pain went away.
Wow.
So people have no idea. There's a lot of young women who carry their cell phones around in their like in their bra, because they don't have a pocket. Women don't have pockets like guys do, and they've gotten breast cancer. I've heard a number of occurrences of that. So, you know, many years ago, before we had cell phones, I used to say, okay, if you want to protect yourself and you don't want to get a rejuvenizer, that's fine. Don't sit in front of your computer for hours and hours on end, which people tend to do. It's sort of like binge watching on the TV, binge computing, you know. So I always would say, you know, take a half-hour break. Like, do your thing for a half hour, take a half-hour break. Do your thing for a half hour, take an half-hour break. It may not be practical, but I'm trying to say, okay, how do you protect yourself from the stuff coming off the computer? Because there's a lot of EMFs coming off the computer. Well, now, modern times, your computer is in your cell phone, and you're carrying it on your body 24/7, or at least, and some kids actually sleep with their cell phone under their pillow and they use it as a wake-up call.
Yep.
Alarm.
It's their alarm.
Terrible. You don't want to do that. You want to basically keep your cell phone as far away from you as you can, as much as you can. I mean, basically, if you want to be healthy, you know, it's just, we just have no idea, and little kids have them, and it's just a part of life, and everyone has one. And when other people pull out their cell phone, you're getting zapped from their cell phone as well as your cell phone. It's just, we live in a really crazy world. And the biggest challenge is you can't see the frequencies.
You're right.
They're invisible. You can't see them, so you don't have a sense that they're hurting you. You just get tired, but it's hard to ascribe the blame to this thing that you can't see. So people just, okay, I'm tired, I'm depressed, I take pain pills, I take, you know, whatever, sleeping pills, whatever.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Well, you know, it also makes sense, Phyllis, in the sense that, you know, if we don't have the energy, then what do? Well, oh, I think I need a latte, or, you know, we're getting some other type of, you know, like fix.
Stimulation.
But to stimulate us. And yet if we, you know, use some of your ideas, which is like go outside and, you know, don't have your computer on. I mean, your cell phone or whatever on, or definitely not on your person, you know, like next to your skin, I think would be the worst.
I call it glued to your body.
Okay, glued to your body. I love it. But even in a purse or a backpack, it's still close, but it's not exact, but it's better. So that's definitely better than glued to your body. So that's a step, but it's also like, just go out and let yourself be free of all that. You know, if not every half hour, then at least at your lunchtime or a break, or, you know, in the evening when you're free, or in the weekends. But like, I bet you and I have both seen, like we go for a walk. I can go even into the woods, and somebody will have their dog and whatever, but they're talking on their cell phone.
Sure. Well, years ago, I was a big beef of mine. all the camping grounds would get Wi-Fi. So now it's like normal. But years ago when they started getting Wi-Fi, I was like, are you kidding? You're going out to be in nature and you're going to be sitting there on your computer. It's just really crazy.
Right. But I think the piece is, and I love how you're educating people, this is because the frequencies are unseen, we don't even know the damage. And it's like, we're not going to know. It's like the canary. And interesting how another group, they talked about the Canary Club. So folks, if you're listening to this, you can, correlate this. Cause Phyllis is definitely, was definitely a canary, but it's the piece that we really need to start listening to our bodies and listening to our wellness and, our energy, and not use all these things 24/7.
It's very tough because it's in the world. So that's why my solution is get one of my devices. Now I keep upgrading my devices all the time based on new cell phone, satellites, microwave, just new, computing devices, new electronic devices. There's always, I had to get a new device because I wanted my lights to be turned on and off automatically in my home instead of running around every night and trying to remember, and every morning if I'm sleeping in, I forget to turn them off. Anyway, so I got this device. I had to get a Wi-Fi extender, and I had to get a new port open on my network. It was like so many things, and I had to upgrade my rejuvenizers because there was like new permutations and combinations of frequencies. In other words, I can protect you from 10,000 frequencies, but when they all hit at the same time, I might need to upgrade my devices. So I'm always working on these things. I'm always upgrading them. I'm always dealing with new technology. Ever since 9/11, which now is a while back, but every time I'd go to the airport, I would have to upgrade my devices because they kept like cranking up the frequencies. They kept cranking up whatever they were looking for, whatever they were doing. And, then they had the new machines at the airport that were very toxic. They said that they've backed off and they're not so toxic anymore. I don't know, but there's just so many things that they keep making it more and more. My computer guy was here the other day and he said they're trying to get electricity wireless. So it's not a cable.
Right. I've heard of that. It's like in a box or something.
Yeah. And it's just anything broadcast in the air is this stuff that's just knocking you out. It's one thing to have a cable anytime you pass electricity through a wire, there's an unnatural electromagnetic field that gets created. But you don't sit on your wires all the time necessarily. No. You don't, some animals may, but you basically have a choice when it's wired. I tried to get my house wired in that way, but now everything is wireless. And, even Netflix, I can feel this whole energetic thing coming through. When I'm trying to watch a movie, I can feel all this extraneous negative energy coming at me. It's been very challenging. So, this world is a challenge. I'm doing my best. I feel like I was put on this earth at this time because there are really no good solutions for this issue.
Okay.
I've had to go elsewhere to get help, to come back to this place and get help, for protection from these frequencies. So my technology is what I call higher dimensional technology.
Okay. It's
not of this world. I had to reach out and get extra, other dimensional help to solve the problems we have at this level. So it's really, it's not scientifically based, but it's kind of intuitive science. One of the things about my work is I have the gift of being able to tune in and get answers. I can ask what's going on, like someone calls with, a hip problem. And I can ask, okay, what's going on? Why did they create this? What's happening? What do they need to resolve this? What do we need to clear? Do they need any particular supplements? And I'm able to assess the problem and assess the fix. So it's, kind of advanced therapy in a sense.
Sure, right.
I call it telepathic healing, but it's kind of advanced therapy. So, out of that, I was able to get help for the Rejuvenizer. So I really feel like I was put here on this planet at this time to help resolve this issue. And I've been standing on the rooftops for 30 years shouting, people, these frequencies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, I'm so glad. So Phyllis, let's say folks, and there'll be a link on, so people can know, or they can go to your webpage, of course, and find out about the Rejuvenizer. But when I get my Rejuvenizer, okay, what might I expect? What might I sense? What might I know? How might I feel? How might I feel different? I know differently. I know everybody's going to be different, but what are some things that I might recognize?
Okay. Well, it depends on your level of sensitivity because they work on the subtle levels first. In other words, if you're in touch with your energy field, you're going to feel it within 15 to 20 minutes. Like that little girl felt it within 3 seconds. She was really in tune.
Right.
we give people a 60-day money-back guarantee. I'm not expecting anyone to hold it and go, oh my God, my whole life has changed. No. But when you wear it, you keep it with you, it repairs your energy field. It protects your energy field so it's no longer sustaining all that damage. Every time you get hit, it's not allowing that damage in. So A, you're not getting damaged any further, and B, it's repairing all past damage. So you're kind of coming back online. One of the things I say is, what happens with the influx of the frequencies, it's like we try to be okay. We want to be, how are you? I'm okay, I'm fine, or whatever. So let's say 30 years ago, the average person, I'm okay. And then more frequencies hit, and I'm okay. And then your okay becomes this little, I'm fine. And you're looking through the life of this little opening because you don't want to deal with all the places that are not fine out there. So you shrink.
Right, contract.
You contract. So what happens is, as we take all that damage that you can't see but you can feel off your plate, it's almost like you expand. It's like, it's like you come back to yourself. You feel more alive. You feel more of who you are. You feel more aware, and it just helps you feel more at peace. So these things are subtle. So it really just depends on what time frame it takes for you to feel that. Again, anywhere from the first day to 2 months later. It just depends. But the idea is, as I said before, when you're going down the timeline, one of you has a rejuvenizer and one of you doesn't. This one's going to be a lot more tired and stooped over and depressed and irritable, and this one's going to feel a lot better. Will you notice the difference? It just depends on how long it takes you to notice the difference. I tell people that if you're really not sensitive and you're really not aware of subtle energies, because this is subtle stuff, it's very real in the physical. It's not just subtle, it's very real in the physical, but it starts in the subtle.
Right.
And I tell people, if you're not aware at all of anything, pretty much like of nothing, then you may not feel it. I say, read the hundreds of testimonials we have, trust the people who have gone before. I'm not here flapping my gums to make money. I'm here to help people. And if this didn't work, I wouldn't be doing it. It's like I'm very practical. So I would say probably 95% of the people do feel it. The 5%, hey, trust the fact that I know what I'm doing, and you can read all about it, and you can, talk to other people about it. So, it definitely works. It definitely works. It's just a matter of your own individual sensitivity.
Okay, right. But I just know you would feel it because if the energies are out there, and if we're constantly being bombarded, as you say we are, and I don't doubt that, then once our energy body, and I know this as an energy worker doing Reiki, and we do the same thing with, no batteries, no watches, no money, like anything that has any sort of energy, we don't allow that, even jewelry, to be on a person's body when we're doing like a Reiki training, or when I'm doing a Reiki massage for someone. So even distance Reiki, I don't like to have it, or I'm definitely not wearing it. So they're carriers of energy. Even furniture they're carriers of energy. And so if we can see these in the physical, just, you can just imagine how many energies there are that are unseen. And so the more we can support ourselves in helping ourselves feel energized, and people want to be energized. They run and they eat well and all of that, but they can be doing all of those things,
they're still getting blasted by
and they're still getting all of this, and they'll like, what am I doing wrong here, right? Or why don't I feel better? And so here, and and we're just talking about energies here. It could also be, I suppose, other types of energies as well, but we're talking about the electromagnetic ones.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I would like to deal with that for a moment.
Sure.
So I started my rejuvenizer technology to protect from electromagnetic fields and frequencies. I also am able to clear negative programming that makes different organs and systems dysfunction. That's in my work. So when people got the rejuvenizer, I started saying, well, let's put in there to make the immune system, to clear any programming that would make the immune system go down. Then I added the thyroid, then I added the adrenals, then I added all the different systems and organs. So in other words, it starts working on you to help you dump your old baggage in addition to protecting from EMFs.
Oh, awesome.
Wait, that's not all. I have like
okay. Yeah, tell us them all. I know we're going over time here, but we got to hear what this is.
Okay, well, the other thing is that I became aware of how people can throw their negative energy at you when they're mad at you, upset with you, jealous of you, have the negative emotions towards you. Like
Right.
I used to do, when I did my expos, I had this really beautiful dress I bought years ago. And I'd wear this dress, and every time people would see me, they'd go, "Oh, that dress is so beautiful." And I'd say, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And few years later, all of a sudden, I couldn't put it on anymore. And then I realized that a number of those people, when they said, "Oh, that dress is so beautiful," they were like jealous subconsciously, not consciously,
Right. Right. Of
but they
course.
were jealous, and they kind of zapped the dress with negative energy. So I realized at a certain point I couldn't wear the dress because it was so full of negative energy. I was able to clear it. But my point is, even if someone says, "Oh, I love your haircut," I'm telling you, 8 times out of 10, they're putting negative energy in you. So I set up the Rejuvenizer. This is the Rejuvenizer, by the way. It's clever
Okay.
little
I
disguise.
thought
It's
it
a
would
lovely
be.
piece of jewelry. They're very pretty. And so, well, there's guys too that are not as pretty. So guys, don't worry about that. But there's a male version, like the male peacock version. But so they're set up to protect your energy field from people zapping you.
Right. Like the energy vampires, we call them.
That kind of stuff. Yeah. So I'm doing my best to help people be as well as intact as possible in this world that's constantly bombarding us with all kinds of stuff all the time, from EMFs to our well-meaning friends who are zapping us or trying to drain us or whatever. So I have functions in there to cover all that. And you still have to deal with your own individual programming. I mean, I clear programming, like if someone is zapping you or is draining you, you may have some kind of karmic thing that you need to work out, in which case, if you were to work with me, then we'd figure out what is that? Like, why do you keep attracting being victimized? Or why do you keep attracting, people who are losing things? I have a lot of that, or losing things. So the idea is you still have to do your work. I mean,
Yes.
this isn't like take this magic pill, wear this magic device, and you'll never have to have any negative thoughts again. It's not that. Because to me, we're here to grow and evolve. And if you start your life and you don't do any work on yourself and learn anything your whole lifetime, to me, that's a wasted life.
Right.
But if you're willing to look at yourself and understand why you do what you do and do your best to forgive people and make changes and love yourself more, and that's, to me, the work, then by the time you finish that lifetime, you will have made progress and your soul will be, happy and complete. So the idea is it's not a magic bullet, but it helps you to do your work. Because if you're coming home from work and you're exhausted and you're stressed and you're depressed, you're not going to want to sit there and look at yourself and work on yourself. You're too tired. So to me, this allows you it gives you the freedom to be able to feel well enough to do what you need to do, or do what you came here to do, or, just do what you feel inspired to do.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful, because when people are so lacking in energy and depressed, I know like 20 years ago when I was depressed, and I know talking with you, I realized that it really was a lot of these energies that was actually impacting me, not that I was, clinically depressed with something else. But anyway, that's another story we can go into another time. But it's just so important. I love that you said that this is not a magic pill for us we still need to do our work. But when we have the energy, when we come home from our daily job that we, probably enjoy, whatever, but we're still tired because we've been mentally on or whatever, that we still have the energy to prioritize our lives and to look at what we need and want that's going to make us happy. And when we do that, then the stress will melt away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The other thing I want to say is it came to me that these frequencies, people probably are aware of the chakras, the energy centers in the body. So here's the 7th chakra. It's the spiritual chakra, or energy center, if you don't know that word. When the energy comes in, like divine energy comes in through the chakra system, it feeds our spiritual center, our intuition, our self-expression, our heart, our ability to love, et cetera, our ability to be grounded, safe in the world. So it came to me, and this came to me years ago. This is crazy, actually, but it's real. The frequencies pass through our chakra, the energy in our chakra system, and they break up these energies, and they create thousands and thousands of fragmentations of the energy field. And those fragmentations have a life force of their own. They coagulate or remain at the top of the 7th chakra, and they block the influx of spiritual energy coming in through the chakra. When I was growing up, we had maybe 150 of these. Now kids have like 35,000 of these when they grow up in this world. I mean, it's crazy. And when I tuned in and I asked how many of these fragmentations equal a major problem, like a major spiritual block,
Sure.
and the answer The answer I was told was 3.
Wow.
Like 3 is a block. Now, years ago when I did the research in the early 90s, people in America had thousands, people in Europe had 150 of these fragmentations, and people in India had like 0 to 5. So people in India were kind of free of it in the early 90s. Now, all the high-tech stuff has gone over to India. They all have cell phones. They all gather around their cell phone and watch TV. And it turns out that they're way up in the thousands now, whereas they were spared for a while there.
Right.
So to me, these fragmentations are probably the most damaging thing of all, because they are blocking our spiritual progress. They're blocking our intuition. They're blocking our ability to be in touch with our higher self, our inner knowing, our knowing where we need to be and when, what we need to be doing to be in tune with ourselves. I mean, that's where we get back to the beige and gray. It's like, beige, gray,
Wow.
just cut off from who we are.
And that cuts us off from our own personal power. And we can meditate and all of that. And that might help to restore some, but it's not going to do what you're talking about. Well, Phyllis, we could go on and on forever, and I would love to. So we're going to have the conversation another time. But right now,
can I just say real quick?
I want to tell you that. Okay, go ahead.
The rejuvenizers clear that fragmentation, and they keep it out. So just to let you know, people call me a week or 2 after getting them going, I feel so much more intuitive. Could this be the rejuvenizer? It's like, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I'm ordering one immediately after we get off this call. However, this call was not to sell the Rejuvenizer, everyone. It was really to educate you. So I want you to know that this is Catherine saying what I know I need. Okay, but I want to go back to, I know you have a free gift for everyone. I just like you to, if you could just describe or tell us about it a little bit.
Okay, I created a system called the Love Oracle. And it's really cool. It's really, really cool. It was going to be a card deck, and instead I put it online. And what you do is you take a question that you have, not really a yes/no question, but explain this, or what do you think about this, or sort of a longer answer than yes or no. It can be about relationships. You can do it with a relationship with a boss, or you can do it about a situation in life and just kind of extrapolate the meaning. But the idea is there are 4 different cards, and you put in your question, and then you hit a button to shuffle the cards. So there's like, thousands of combinations and permutations. So the idea is the answer that you get is perfect for you. And we have, I have people that can buy a year subscription to the Love Oracle, and I'm giving away a subscription for a year so that you can play with the system. It's on my website. And it's really fun. It's really great. I love it. It was a wonder. I wrote a couple books on relationships, so I'm really big, as well as the EMFs, of course. I'm really big on helping people to have more love in their lives, and create more loving relationships with others. So that's my other love.
Well, the other piece though too is like relationships, and our relationships cause us a lot of stress. Sure. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that keep us, whether we're in them or not in them, or we have relationships with everyone. We have relationships with ourselves. So it sounds like you can use this oracle that you're talking about, this Love Oracle thing, for pretty much anything. Yes. So it's perfect. So, and it definitely sounds like it will help people, because we can talk as much as we want, but it's actually the people, everyone listening that takes advantage of the information that's being shared, and they do something about it. We can't do it for them, but we're definitely here to provide the information. So Phyllis, again, I want to thank you for all that you share. I know we've gone over, folks, but I know there was just so much that Phyllis was needed to share that I'm just glad it came out. So thank you, Phyllis. Thank you for all of you for being here. And I just know that you will benefit. Please go to Phyllis's website, learn more about her Rejuvenizer, learn more about what you can do for yourself so your soul isn't fragmented. And until we see you next time, namaste.